everyone. Today we're going to look at numeracy and then tomorrow for sensory. So numeracy is very important because it lays down the foundation for their mathematical knowledge. So when they get to primary school, they cope better if they have the foundation. So it's very simple. So the video shouldn't be too long today. The first thing is copying patterns, so that's quite important. So by copying patterns, I mean if you can use anything you want. You can use colors, for example, so it'll be all laid out in a pattern like red, black, red, black, red, and then they should know black. Or you can do two colors, one color, two color, one color, or you can use fruit. You can do apple, nachi, apple, nachi, apple, nachi, and then they must know what comes next. So you can just practice that with anything that you have. It can be socks, shoes, clothing, toys, food products, anything that you have available. And then tracing basic shapes. So I did also send worksheets for this that you can use. It's where the shape is outlined with little dots, and then they just start at the right point, remember to remind them of pencil grip, and then they just hold at the top, and then they just copy, 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 stop. That's how I tell them. They do know that. So start with straight lines, and then the basics are circle, square, and triangle. Those are the first ones that they need to know. Okay, and then other than that, please remind them they need to know all the shapes. So you need to go through those flashcards that I sent and just go through all the shapes as much as possible. And if your child does call a crescent a moon, please correct them because they need to know it as crescent. So that's very important. You can also use fruit or anything that eggs to demonstrate shapes. Egg is oval. A banana is a crescent. Well done. So that's very important. And then sequencing and ordering is very important. So there's a few ways you can do this. You can use nursery rhymes. So nursery rhymes, you give a short little nursery rhyme, and then you ask them what happened first and then what happened, to see if they can place it in the right order, because that's basically what it is. It's putting it in the right sequence or the right order. So you can also do this with normal strips of paper. You can cut paper at different lengths and ask them to show you which one's bigger, which one's smaller. They must put it in order from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest. And then you can also do this for more or less. So you can use little pebbles like I've got here. You can just put some pebbles together, and then you can maybe just use also these. You can use anything really, buttons, anything. You can have a group, and then you can have one or two and ask them which one has more, this one or this one. So that kind of thing, very basic but important. So repetition, repetition, repetition. You can also let them dot on worksheets, like if you draw 4 circles, for instance, let them just take some finger paint. They can just dip their finger in the paint and paint 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 circles. So that's pretty easy as well, and also it's colorful, so it's sensory for them as well. And the next thing is stacking. You can also do it by sizes for sequencing and ordering. You can just use like mommy's shoe, daddy's shoe, and his shoe or her shoe. Then you can put from biggest to smallest, smallest to biggest. So that's a fun, practical idea. Okay, so let's get to stacking. So stacking items is very mathematical for kids' brains, for their cognitive development as well. So stacking items is very important. Let them just play and practice. If it falls, have a good laugh, and then you start again, and that kind of thing. And even you can do a more practical version, like mommy can stack some stuff and then he can knock it down, and you can go, oh, how many did we knock down? And then they get to counting however many there are, and then let them restack it. That way you're getting the whole thing in. And for stacking, you can use things like paper cups. You can use plastic cups. You can use building blocks if you have Lego. You can use tinned food is another one. Anything that will sort of balance on top of each other. So I'm sure if you look around the house, if you can save your toilet rolls, you can use those. It's quite amazing what you can do, because you can put a little pyramid or anything. So save those and use that. That's amazing for them. And then sorting objects is also very good for them. So they can sort by 4 different things. They can sort by shape. So you have different shaped things, and then they put the right shapes together. You can sort by color, so they put all the right colors together. They can sort by size, so big and small. And then they can sort by object, which is themed. So you can have toys and food, and let them put the toys all there and the food all there, or food all there and sweets all there. So that's very good. And then matching shapes and matching objects. So again, this is very practical. You don't need any like crazy supplies. You just need a piece of paper. You draw a square or a circle, some down this side and some down this side, but not in the same sequence, and you just let them tell you which ones match. And then you can do the same for objects, a dog and a dog, or a cat and a cat, or a ball and a ball, and a car and a car, a circle and a circle. So just so that they can see, it's good for hand-eye coordination, it's good for them to recognize sequencing in their heads, so it's very good. And then counting of objects. So start small, put 2 things in each group. So you can even use cookie cutters or whatever you have available. So you'll put 2 in that group and you'll put 2 in this group, and then you just let them count how many are in each group. Let's look at this group. This group has got 1, 2 in this group. What about this one? Let's count. 1, 2. There's 2 in this group. There's 2 and 2. Is it the same or is it different? So that's another thing to practice with them. Same and different, less and more repetition. So just keep it going. You can count anything. You can order with anything. You can do sequencing with anything in your household. It can be cutlery, it can be noodles, it can be absolutely anything. If you really don't have anything, you can go outside and pick some leaves off the tree and even use that. So it's really a practical thing, and that's the nice thing about mathematics, is you can really just use anything. There's so many options, and you can use their clothing even. So sorry mommies, but there's no excuse. Okay, and then the last thing is they need to be able to count up to 30. So like I said before, some of them can. They forget a number here and there, but that's quite normal. And then some of them they can't. Some of them just don't want to. You need to encourage it. Don't force it, but encourage them. So again, I do counting or clapping. So I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do it that way. They also can count objects. They can do body parts. I always use fingers with them. I say, how many fingers do you have? Then let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 fingers. So you can just start up to 10 and you can work your way up from there. If you see that your child can't cope up to 30, you can use small things. How many mouths do you have? You have 1 mouth. Mouth. Then you're getting language in as well. How many eyes do you have? 1, 2. I have 2 eyes. So you can use flashcards again. I've got these. I have multiple ones, but these are great. I'll show you. These again are from Reader's Warehouse. So what I love about these is that you can use them for multi-purpose, because they've got colors, they've got the actual number representations, and if you flip them over, they have objects which they need to recognize, so that's great. And then you can also count the amount of objects. How many dogs are here? 1 dog. And then you would go to the next card, and you can actually see if they can recognize it, because if you repetition this all the time, they'll recognize the number. They'll say to you it's 2. What color is the 2? Good, it's yellow. Good. Then you flip it over. You say, what's that? Socks. Yes. Do you wear socks? Yes. How many socks are here? 1, 2. 2 socks. Where do I put socks? Good. On my feet. How many feet do I have? 1, 2. 2 feet. So that's amazing, because you're not just doing maths, you're doing language. Sorry, this wind is a little bit crazy. You're doing language, you're doing maths, you're doing cognitive, you're doing color recognition, you're doing sensory, you're doing everything in one. So it's quite amazing for them. And then another thing that you can do is, again with sorting, you can use color paper if you have. Another thing you can do is if you have paper plates at home, you can simply just draw a triangle or a square under different ones, and then you show them, and then you flip it, and you've got a large version of a memory game. So that's fantastic. And then when they find it, they can count how many shapes are there. What color are they? What is it? Is it a shape? Is it an animal? What is it? So again, you're putting multiple things into one activity. So that's fantastic. And that's really it. So with that, it's just simple. It's small basic things you can do with cooking. They can count the pegs when you're hanging washing, all kinds of things like that. And then my prop for today, which I find that they love, I will tell you how to make it as well. I just made little eyes. So I would use these when I'm busy trying to get them, when I'm trying to elicit answers out of them. So I would say, wow, I see 2 dogs. How many dogs do you see? So they love this, and it's so simple to make. It's just 2 polystyrene balls, and then I've got a little skewer, wooden skewer in the middle that just to hold them together. And then I just took blue Koki and I went around the edges and I stuck 2 little googly eyes on, and voila, that's it. If you have children's glasses, they normally fit over here. You can put it on so that this looks like it's wearing glasses. You can even go so far as to put a handle on so that you're holding it. And that's it. So mathematics is easy. Again, you can also use chalk on the sidewalk. It's amazing. They can draw shapes. You can draw shapes. You can do hopscotch. Then they're doing gross motor as well. And just keep it fun and light, and then you'll see they soon pick it up. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be back with sensory. So in the meantime, you can go and look for loads of different textures of things: sand, water, soap. You can use stones, leaves. You can use anything with texture that's different textures: cotton wool, baby oil, anything like that. And also I'm going to do a video for Play-Doh today, so I'll post that tomorrow with it for sensory, and then you can use that for your threading as well. So have a great day. See you tomorrow.